According to the Utah Division of Water Resources, the Colorado River is a reliable source of water for Utah, among other states.
The Colorado River is amazing, and you look at the economics behind it and also the environment behind it, and what it does for this country as a whole is significant. It supplies a lot of our vegetables and our fruits that we eat.
House Bill 297 was enacted during the 2021 Utah legislative session. The bill created the Colorado River Authority of Utah Act, where a 6-member council will oversee, protect, develop, and manage the water interests in the Colorado River system. Utah is one of 7 states, along with Mexico, with allocations and uses of the Colorado River Basin system.
It's important that Utah be at the table discussing this important resource with the other states in our region. And frankly, Utah's been a little bit passive in our approach to protecting and our rights on the river, and also in engaging with our other states. And so this is absolutely critical. In fact, as I look at the legislative session, this is probably the most important thing besides passing a budget that the state legislature has done.
Under the new authority, a river commissioner will be appointed, along with members from various water conservancy districts throughout the state, including Washington County. One of the main proposed uses of Colorado River water in southwest Utah would be in the creation of the Lake Powell Pipeline. While it's still under environmental review, the Lake Powell Pipeline would divert some of Utah's share of water through a 140-mile underground pipeline where it would be stored for use at Sand Hollow Reservoir in Washington County.
I know the critics have really said this is just a sneaky way to deal with the Lake Powell Pipeline, and it's not. This really is looking at the entire state and the entire Colorado River system and how the best way to look at this. We're also not just looking at it as this is a way to, protect Utah's water rights. I mean, that is one way to definitely look at that, but this has also given us a great opportunity to just look at the river and talk about ways that we can best utilize this resource.
But in actuality, Utah's water right is in Flaming Gorge. That's where our water for Lake Powell will come from, and a lot of people may not appreciate that. But it is a state resource as well as a project for water development here in Washington County.
Water is the most valuable resource in any community, especially here in the hot, dry desert of southern Utah. With increasing population and only one water source to rely on now, preserving water for the future is a must.
We live in a dry state. We're the second driest state in the union. Water is absolutely essential to education. It's essential to prosperity. It's essential to agriculture. And it's essential to just where we're going as a state. And it's absolutely critical that we use our water resources wisely, but that we also use the water resources that we have a right to.
A lot of people don't realize that the Virgin River is part of the Colorado River water. And so here in St. George in Washington County, all the water we use is Colorado River water. And it's part of that compact. It's part about there's been litigation, and we look at that litigation. That's kind of how we run the Virgin River, and that directly affects that. And so regardless of the Lake Powell Pipeline, Utah should, and especially our area, we should be talking about if there's changes on how this river operates, that could have a direct effect upon how we operate our reservoirs and how that's all managed.
Federal government interim guidelines for operation and management of large reservoirs on the river expires in 2026. States will now need to come together to talk about the future use of water.
And we're starting to recognize that maybe we over-allocated the Colorado River. So in the year 2026, we will be sitting down with our other states in the region and discussing the Colorado River and where we are as far as water, what we're going to have to do. Utah is one of the few states that has over 700,000 acre feet of unallocated water. And it's important that we don't necessarily just give that water away to others who are overusing their allocations. But at the same time, we respect the resource.
This now is going to open up a better communication with the farmers, between the municipal users and the farmers. This entity will be able to talk about drought contingency plans or active management plans and really have those discussions. I think we're going to be able to do some really cool studies on the river, specifically in Utah, and how things are ran on the river. And so that's what I think it's so positive, is that it's just not one thing. It really is multiple things, and it's bringing people together, and it's bringing resources together so we can have a better management of our river, so we can understand the river better, and we can use it wisely.
The bill comes at a cost of around $9.6 million, which will be appropriated by the year 2022 with reallocated funds. Similar task forces have already been created in other Colorado River Basin states. In Washington County, Melissa Anderson, Community Education News.